A better route. Chapter 94. Danzo wasn't sure if he should be nervous at the moment. Everything around him just seemed to be going far too well, which just didn't happen in the ninja world. Kabuto was no longer trying to escape from his clutches. Sai had actually willing to go on the assassination mission he'd been assigned, and the notes Sai had given him were beyond helpful in figuring out some new things about the root members' bloodlines. He hadn't had any major problems in almost a week, nothing but smooth sailing. Perhaps he was just being paranoid? Things might have just finally been coming together for Root. It would be far too late before he realized just how wrong he was about that. What he didn't know is that before the day was out his entire world would fall out from under him in just a matter of hours. The Sound Five had gotten the message that they thought was from Kabuto 3 days ago, and they hadn't been happy when they found out the truth. Flashback. Tayuya shook with anger as she read the scroll. Those motherfucking worthless piece of shit Sansabitches think that they can rob our master of his work and not even pay for it? Danzo was one of Lord Orochimaru's strongest supporters, and now he's just gonna steal his notes like it's not a big deal. When I find that dick Danzo, I'm gonna rip his damn head off. Jirobo would usually tell he not to swear, but he was just as angry as she was. It was my honor to help Lord Orochimaru make those notes. They shall not fall into the wrong hands. Kadamaru was watching his spider crawl up his arm with an angry look on his face. Maybe he'd make a good meal for my spiders. He's a little dried out though, maybe be like eating a raisin for them. Sakan asked their ill leader, think you'd be able to make a trip to the Hidden Leaf? Kimimaro? Kimimaro did his best to stand up. I can make it. I've kept myself alive all these years with those damn experiments so that I could make someone pay for Lord Orochimaru's death. Danzo was supposed to be his ally, and yet he lead him right into his death. He's going to get what's coming to him. Sakan figured that'd be his answer. Kimimaro had kept himself alive when everyone thought he was going to die, though pure willpower and using whatever leftovers of Orochimaru's he could find so that he could one day get vengeance on those he felt deserved it. There was no way he was gonna pass up getting a shot at Danzo. He left to go and find some of the other Sound ninjas, mainly their 2 rising stars Yugo and Suigetsu. If they were going to fight Root, they'd need all the help they would get. Flashback end. Yes, Danzo's circle of betrayal and destruction had finally come full circle right back to him. All the friends he'd made were gone and he had no favors left to call in. Truly, Danzo had burned all of his bridges. He was about to find out just how much damage he'd really done to this world. The lunch at the Akimichi restaurant was still going strong an hour later, and it wasn't just Naruto who didn't seem to want to stop eating. Hinata must have destroyed an entire batch of cinnamon buns at this point. Kakashi had so much dango it looked like his stomach was gonna explode. Mito was ripping into an entire river's worth of fish, and that wasn't even mentioning everything the others had eaten. It wasn't entirely their fault that they couldn't stop eating. The food was absolutely delicious. The Akimichis were damn good cooks, not that it surprised anyone. Everyone was already hungry, so the great food was just fuel to the fire. Although, great food was even better when you had a nice conversation to go with it. The thing everyone wanted to know about was of course Naruto, Kakashi, and Mito's training. Everyone couldn't believe just how much training Mito had done with Guy and Lee. That was something only Guy and Lee were crazy enough to do. Even more shocking was when they heard about the way Manda snapped at Kakashi and even went so far as to try to attack him. They knew that Snake was crazy, but to actually go so far as to attack someone on your contract in cold blood was just ridiculous. Of course, the highlight of the conversation was Naruto's Raisin Shuriken training. Rin nearly reached over the table and beat the crap out of him when he told her about his little conversation with Kurama, but were really happy he'd managed to finally complete the Rasengan. Most people, including Jiraiya, had just assumed that was impossible. Fu had to ask, do you think maybe I could get the Seven Tails to work with me like that? Naruto didn't see why not. If you go by the same approach I did, I'm sure you could. Just talk to her like she's a human being. Fu felt a little guilty for not thinking of that before. I guess that's actually a pretty good idea. Gaara piped in, I don't think that'll work with Shikaku. That Tanuki's out of its ever-loving mind. Naruto couldn't argue with that one. Yeah, I guess even-tailed beasts have their crazy ones. It had been a lovely meal all in all and was the perfect way for everyone to unwind. Pity it had to end so quickly after it started. An assistant came barging through the door. Sir, there's some kind of fighting breaking out on the outskirts of the village. There's a bunch of sound ninja in the fight too. Obito didn't need to know anything else. If the sound ninjas were here, trouble was afoot. Come on everybody, I don't know what in the hell's going on, but I'm not waiting to find out. Naruto was grinning. The last time something like this had happened they all had to hang back and let Obito handle it. This time they were strong enough to actually fight alongside him. For years really had changed things, but one thing always stayed the same. The Hidden Leaf ninjas were gonna kick some ass. Danzo could feel the rumble of the battles beneath his feet and power of the dark chakra coursing through every corridor of his base as ran to find out what in the hell was going on. He'd heard some kind of explosion right before the everything start to go down. One of his highest up member, Toryun, was running beside him. Is this some kind of attack en route, and if so, who initiated it? Toryun didn't have all of the information himself. It's what's left of the hidden sound, sir. We don't know if they're out to get us or just want Kabuto back, but it's clear they aren't leaving until they get what they want or we kill all of them. Danzo scoffed. You know exactly which one we'll be going for. Anybody of particular power with them? Toryun knew he wasn't going to believe him. Well, it's the Sound 5 and a bunch of other sound ninjas, including the one we all thought was going to be dead by now, Kimimaro. Although from what I saw this is going to be his last fight. Danzo was about to call him the liar, but once he got above the surface of his base all he saw was carnage and destruction. His men's corpses surround him, some with bones stuck through their chest, others covered in web, and even some just torn to unrecognizable pieces. Danzo felt fear for the first time in years. Well, this isn't good. A redhead girl screamed at him, well, you don't fucking say. Kimimaro stopped the moment he saw Danzo enter the scene. He already had blood coming from his mouth due to his poor health. This was definitely going to be his last fight, but frankly he didn't care as long as he took out Danzo. You betrayed my master in every sense of the word. For that I will make you pay. Danzo wasn't going to show any fear. You can try, but I'm no slouch. Sakan rolled his eyes. That's awful big talk from a one-eyed old man. Danzo gave the darkest chuckle that he could. Oh, I have far more than just one eye. Trust me, you don't want to see what they can do. While this argument was ensuing, Sai and Kabuto were watching from the distance in a tree. They'd escaped during all of the confusion. Did you get the documents? Sai pulled them out. Yes, these are all of the notes he's stolen from Orochimaru. Kabuto looked at his old master's work and got ready to do what needed to be done. He took out a match and prepared to light up the unholy scrolls. Striking the match, Kabuto held it over and scrolls. Just as he was about to toss it on them, Sai screamed and pushed him out of the way. Kabuto, move. Kabuto and Sai fell from the tree just in time for Kabuto to see an arrow made of Kadamaru's hard spider silk hit inched from where his heart would have been. They didn't have time to grab the scrolls before Kadamaru grabbed them with his webs. So this is Lord Orochimaru's old notes, huh? Care to explain why you were trying to destroy them, Kabuto? Kabuto tried to reason with him. Come on, Kadamaru, those scrolls are going to do nothing but cause even more destruction than they already have. We've got to destroy them. Kadamaru didn't care. This is the work of Lord Orochimaru and it's even got part of my flesh and blood in it. If you think I'm going to destroy it, you're crazy. Kabuto stood up and growled, "You know you could never take me, Kidomaru." Kidomaru made some hand seals and placed his hand on a nearby tree. A small spider appeared and Kidomaru gave it the bundle of scroll encased in his web. "Get this somewhere safe, little buddy. I've gotta hold Mr. Trader here off for a while." The spider jumped away and Kabuto told Sai, "Chase after it, I'll handle Kidomaru." Sai had faith Kabuto could take care of himself, so he ran to go and get the spider. Kidomaru wanted to stop him, but Kabuto was already jumping towards him with his chakra scalps at full power. He was starting to worry he'd made a huge mistake this time. When Obito and everyone arrived on scene, they were in complete and utter awe at what they were seeing. It was quite literally a bloodbath, as the usually green grass fields of the Leaf were now dyed a deep crimson. Obito recognized that everyone who wasn't a sound ninja was someone they'd busted for joining Root. With Danzo there, it didn't take long for Obito to see what was going on. "Danzo, you son of a bitch, this is the last straw. You've brought the sound right to our doorstep and I'm not letting this one slide. I'm talking you out here and now. Everybody scatter and try to get a hold on the situation, but leave Danzo to me." Kimimaro wasn't giving up his prize. "If you want to kill Danzo, you'll have to kill me first. He's mine to finish." Obito activated his Sharingan, "Then so be it." Kakashi stepped in, "You just handle Danzo, I'll handle the bone guy. Time to show him what an actual snake master could do." Kimimaro snapped at hearing that. "How dare you? You'll pay for saying that about Lord Orochimaru." A second great battle between the Sound and Leaf was underway, only this time there was 3 sides with Root in the fight as well. This was gonna be one for the history books. See you in the next one.